Welcome to another episode of Tangled Rights. This is episode 48. I actually remembered this time. I'm one of your hosts, Justin Wilson.
And Shane Cox.
And today we have a special guest. Let him introduce himself. Cody, go for it.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Austin Dakota Brown, but I go by Cody. I'm from a small farming town in Missouri, but I lived in Springfield before coming to Peru.
And what town in Peru are you in? I'm assuming Lima, but...
No?
Cusco. Okay. Yeah, not Cusco. Lima. No.
All right, so I got a weird question, and it's just because it's one of those things that I know about. So the town that I'm from is Peru, Kansas, right? And so that's how I have like this dumb you can look it up, 67360. I got these dumb like factoids about it. Have you had guinea pig yet?
Oh yeah, it's so good. I mean, it's not the best thing.
Alpaca's I want to try it.
Yeah, alpaca's better, but cuy is okay. Yeah,
that's what they call it. Is cuy?
Yeah,
that's hilarious. That's awesome. You didn't know that?
No, actually, fun fact, my dad, when he was 11 years old, lived 1 year in Arequipa, which is pretty close to Cusco.
Okay.
It's like the big city near Cusco.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My grandpa was doing he was a principal at school, English teacher, and they just did like a year abroad, kind of thing in Peru. So my dad told me stories a little bit. He learned Spanish there. And
did he eat?
I don't remember. I'm going to have to ask him after this.
I would do it. I mean, oh, well, what's the worst? You don't like it? Wah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an experience, man.
Yeah, sure. So other than that, in alpaca, what else down there is, strange to the American palate?
Oh, man. All the food's completely different. The other main dish they have here is ceviche. Ceviche is, I don't know what kind of fish it is, but it's just seafood awesome. With like lemon juice and some onions. It's pretty good. I didn't really like it, but.
Is lomo saltado a big thing in Cusco area or no?
Yes, lomo saltado, ¿qué más? Pollo a brasa, all of that. Yeah, it's a big thing here.
That's awesome, man.
We should go somewhere Peruvian. It's just fries with beef and peppers. It's really good.
Let's just go to Peru. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I want to go to Machu Picchu, and I guess you can land in Lima, and you can go all the way around the mountain, and then you go up. There's like a whole thing, and I'm trying to convince him to go with me because I want to go. I'll go by myself. I don't give a shit.
Well, Cody's pretty anti-Peru right now. So
right, but I understand.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe don't come to Peru,
but the mountain itself and then like the surroundings is a very beautiful country, right?
Oh yeah, no, this country is incredibly beautiful, and the food is amazing. The people, the culture is really rich. Just the system is a little messed up.
Which system specifically?
If I said that and they saw that, I'd go to prison.
Okay,
but the one dealing with that, if that makes sense.
So we're lawyers in America, and so probably a system that we might deal with, maybe.
Yes.
So tell me what's going on with you, man. What sort of trials are you experiencing right now? Not literally, but struggles would be a better word.
So the struggle is trying to get them to drop the charges that they brought up onto me, which is intentional homicide. The laws here are very vague in writing. So if you do one wrong thing and they want to charge you with something, they will. And which is actually like the biggest thing I'm fighting right now is that all the evidence that I have and that they have does not constitute an intentional homicide charge. However, there's not checks and balances here as much as the U.S. So the prosecutor actually holds all the power. And even though he doesn't have evidence, he can still push it into like a trial, which is where we're headed, unfortunately. And even if all the evidence is saying something else, the jury can decide whether or not to send me to prison or not. And it's not really up to the judge. I know that sounds so weird. It was weird for me too, because usually when you think of courts, you're like, oh yeah, the judge, he'll know what to do. He can't. It's not up to him. It's up to the jury and the prosecutor.
What's the sentencing range for this particular charge?
So intentional homicide has between 8 to 20 years in prison.
And so I probably should have looked this up, but forgive me. And if you don't know the answer, I will look it up. What sort of like trial rights do they have there?
When you say trial rights, what do you mean exactly by that?
So we have, for example, you get a jury of your peers. You have a right to a speedy and not public trial, or not overly publicized. You have a right to have a defense attorney. You have the right to confront your accusers and cross-examine them. These various trial rights that we get from our Bill of Rights, the first number of amendments in the Constitution. Do they have anything like that? Do you get an attorney?
They
Do you get
do.
those? Okay.
Yes, they have all of that. Ironically, all of their laws on paper is pretty much the exact same as the United States. You have the right to remain silent, the right to a defender. If you don't have the money, one will be appointed to you, all of those things. They just don't practice them. They do not practice them, unfortunately. So the jury will not be a jury of my peers, because my peers would be obviously gringos, foreigners, people who are of my age. I'm not going to have that. And the defender is right on track, but they don't really appoint you one. I had to go out and buy one. So there's that as well. What else do they have on paper that they don't practice? Oh, well, other than like you know how in the US the punishment has to fit the crime? Here, they have that on paper as well, but unfortunately, no. I want to say it's like Article 139, Part 24, Section E, right to due process. They've already violated that with me, unfortunately.
How did they violate your due process rights?
So they have what's called, it's not on paper. This is not on paper, but they do what's called delayed justice here. It's where, you have the right to a speedy trial. They have that as well. They're not doing that. It's where they pretty much wait it out to see if you can run out of money, or if you're a foreigner like me, if you leave. So they don't have enough evidence to hold the charges in place, and they know that. So I was supposed to meet the prosecutor now 3 weeks ago, and they've just been holding off either, our assistant's on vacation, or, we're going to do something else later here soon. I'm like, I don't care. You said we had a meeting. Let's meet now. Let's get this process going.
Are you stuck there?
Yeah. They're waiting to see if I leave, actually, because they know that both Alejandra and Alejandra's the girl that was with me when all this went down. They're waiting to see if I leave, because if I leave the country, even if it's to the US or if it's just for a quick border hop to Chile and back, they can use that as a sign of guilt. And that'll be their biggest, like, oh yeah, he's guilty. Convince the jury he's guilty. He left the country kind of thing. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, tell us what happened.
Yeah, I think we should get into the
sorry, I got stuck here.
We've watched it. We've watched some of your other videos. You're going a little viral on TikTok, but just for our listeners, because we want to help get the word out, give us the spiel of what happened here.
Yeah, absolutely. So March 1st at 11 o'clock at night, it was a Saturday. I've told this story so many times, guys. A dude attacked me and my friend Alejandra. Alejandra is one of my close friends here. She's from Venezuela. She's a Venezuelan refugee residing here in Peru. So while we were on our way to go get food at 11 o'clock at night, there was some kind of festival going on, and there was a bunch of drunk people outside, which is normal for Cusco. I don't know, like Peru, these people drink. They'll drink for whatever. Like, you breathe right, they're going to take a shot for it. But there was this one dude in particular who was just causing a scene. And unbeknownst to us, he actually had gotten into a fight with 2 or 3 other people before Alejandra and I had come around the corner. So he was already heated up. And I guess he had a case of mistaken identity. I mean, that's the only way you could describe it. I mean, I'm gringo, and he thought I was a Peruvian that night for some reason. And so he came, and we tried to ignore him, Alejandra and I, because he was across the street, and he was just screaming all kinds of profanities in Spanish. And of course I understood them, but I was like, let's just keep going, girl. Let's keep going. Don't look. And then as we crossed the road, he ran up behind us. He punched me in the back of the head, which I'm not going to lie, he actually had a pretty good swing there. My vision went dark and I was seeing stars. And so for a good 2 or 3 seconds, I was out. Didn't know what the heck happened. When I came to and came around, I saw Alejandra arguing with this guy. And I mean, he was drunk. He was completely out of it. Because as we were arguing with him, we were like, "Calmate, amigo, ¿qué pasó? Like, why are you upset?" He punched Alejandra in the face and busted her eye open real good. And that's when we noticed, of this big dude. And mind you, Alejandra's a 19-year-old girl. She's skinny. She's not she's not buff for her age or anything like that. So if he was okay with hitting a woman in general, then he's got to be completely drunk. And so we knew at that point we weren't going to get out of the situation without defending ourselves. So Alejandra, as I was sitting there trying to defend myself, I hit him over the head with a bottle, a plastic bottle. Didn't do much, of course, because it's a plastic bottle, but it was the only thing I had in my hand at the time. He punched her in the eye, then she punched him back. And after she punched him, he dropped. He dropped like a brick, unfortunately. And when he fell, he didn't catch himself. And so the back of his head hit the road. We didn't know that at the time. We only found that out after the fact. So when he dropped, we decided to take off because he was with some friends. We didn't know if the friends wanted to fight too. We're not fighters. I mean, I'm American and all, but I don't fight people. I just don't do it. So we took off. We tried to go get our food. The place was unfortunately closed, so we left the house for nothing. We went back to the house, but in order to go back to this house, you have to take the same route that you came from because there's only one way in and out there. So when we came back by, he was on the ground still. And that's when we were like, something might be wrong here. So we went and grabbed our other roommate who spoke Spanish because obviously I wasn't going to talk to the police. And we went to the police station, which was not even 2 blocks from our house. We lived very close to this police station. When we made it there, we talked about, this dude attacked us, pretty much everything that happened. We didn't lie at all. And they were like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll write up a report. If y'all want to press charges, just let us know. And I was like, no, I don't want to press charges, bro. I just want to tell y'all, they're like, go get them. So the next day, Alejandra had to go back to the police station to do a medical checkup, which here, if you even just get lightly tapped here, they'll take you to a medical checkup for the police statement. So she went back to go do that. And around 9:00, she calls me and she's like, hey, amigo, you have to get to the police station. Something happened. And I heard the shakiness in her voice. And I was like, oh my God, should I just leave now? I don't know what's going on. I don't want to go back to the police station with her sounding like that. But she's my friend. So I was like, okay, let's go. So when I made it to the police station, that's when they were like, yeah, the dude's in the hospital and he's not going to wake back up. The injuries he has is going to take his life, unfortunately. And we were like, we were very sad about that. We were like, oh, that's unfortunate, but y'all have the video. Y'all have like the witness statements at this time. I didn't realize they had the witness statements at the time, but they did. They did have the video. And we had to watch the video and run through our own statements, which, by the way, they did not tell me that I had the right to remain silent before I made that statement. But luckily, I didn't do anything wrong and I didn't lie. So that didn't cause much of an issue. But so, yeah, he was in the hospital. And that's when they told us that, we're charging you with manslaughter. Pretty much. They called it negligence, but the U.S. equivalent charge of that is manslaughter. So at that point, I was like, oh, man, that really sucks. But at least you have all the evidence. We're not going to be dealing with this for too long, et cetera, et cetera. And they were like, okay, pay 5,000 soles, which in U.S. dollars is close to 1,500. And we'll close the case out. So I thought. And so we went to go pay the 5,000. And then the dude died, unfortunately, that day around 1:00. I remember the time because that's when they texted me to come to the police station. And so after I paid the 5,000, then I went to the police station after they told me the dude died. They said they were upgrading it to intentional homicide charges, even though we paid the 5,000. I talked to the embassy about that because I thought that was a little messed up. That they were going to continue charging me, even though the case was supposed to be closed. And apparently the cops or whoever told us that, because they told my friend that in Spanish, they shouldn't have said that. It was restitution, apparently, to the family for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know a lot about the Peruvian laws here. But so after they told us they were increasing the charges to intentional homicide, that's when we were just kind of shocked, extremely shocked, because I mean the videos, which I'm actually after this, I'm going to go get the video from my lawyer. Finally, it shows us acting in self-defense, and the witnesses that they went and talked to also said that we acted in self-defense. And a little bit after this, after they sent the body off to Lima, they did the autopsy report, and the autopsy report, supports that it was one blunt force trauma to the head that caused the injuries that took his life. So it upholds that he died after the fall. And I mean, I still don't understand how they can still press with the charges, especially because about 4 days after being charged with intentional homicide, we had to go see a judge, and the judge watched the video. And I didn't realize this at the point in time, but they were either going to take our passports and not let us leave, or they were just going to put us on certain types of restrictions, etc. And so after this, the judge was like, yeah, I don't think Austin's, I don't think his actions actually caused the death of this person. There's no way a plastic bottle upside the head didn't cause this issue. So none of his actions caused the death of this man. I took that as a sign as, hey, I'm out of this. My friend Alejandra may not be, but I am. We're golden. But no, unfortunately, after that, that's when I learned the judge doesn't have much power here. It's the prosecutor. So the prosecutors are still pursuing me, even though the judge was like, no, Brad, it's not him. Cody didn't do nothing. So, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at right now. I talked to the embassy, trying to get tips, trying to get a new lawyer, because now they're separating the charges. Because the judge said that it wasn't enough to hold me to an intentional homicide charge, we believe, at least the people at the embassy and my lawyer believe, that they are separating the charges now. I'm going to be an accomplice to intentional homicide, while my friend Alejandra is placed with intentional homicide because she was the one who punched him, but she had no choice. I mean, apparently here you're supposed to just let them beat you up and possibly kill you, because if not, then they're going to put you in prison. But the main thing about this is here, there's a foreign bias. Foreigners are prosecuted much harsher than locals, especially when the crime involves a local. So because the dude is a Cuscanian, because he's from here and he passed away, we're being tried much harder. We're being pursued much harder than if he wasn't. And they also have a really misconstrued idea of Americans here, pretty much. They all see us as like walking dollar signs. Everything I pay for is more expensive than my Peruvian friends. I mean, I'll be like, oh yeah, I paid 8 soles to go here in a taxi. And they're like, bro, what? Why'd you pay 8 soles? And I'm like, what do you mean? Look at my skin, man. I'm gringo. I didn't have a choice. So,
can you haggle there?
Oh yeah. Haggle. Yeah. Yeah. This one dude, I guess he thought I was new in Peru or something. Cause, I asked him how much it would get to take me home from where I work. And he was like 50 soles, which that, by the way, is like 10 times as much as what you're supposed to pay. And I was like, bro, I'm not paying 50 soles. What is wrong with you? He's like, that's the normal price. And I was like, no, it's not. I've been here for a year and I've never paid more than 8 soles to get from here to there. I was like, nice try though. And he was like, oh, okay, 8 soles then. And I was like, nah, you done lost yourself a gringo, man. I'm not getting in your car. So, yeah, I haggle a lot. It works a little bit more with my Peruvian friends, but yeah, I haggle. It's kind of what you have to do here to get cheaper prices. And so, yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, there's also like the delayed justice. That's also how do I say this without implementing myself? Unfair. You know, the big C word. I'm gonna replace the C word with unfair. They're not supposed to do that. They're also they're just doing so much, man. It's hard to keep up. But oh yeah, also with the charges, that's also unfair, because none of the charges can hold up to intentional homicide charge, but they're still pursuing it and holding out the time to see if, maybe I leave or they can do something. We're moving into the second preliminary stage of my investigation as well. I got that 2 weeks ago. I got it 2 weeks ago from my lawyer, from the prosecutor's office. They want the clothes that we worn that night, for whatever reason. I mean, that was, at this point, it was 3 weeks after the event. So I don't know what they're wanting to find on my clothes. But I'm going to give them my clothes, I guess. And they're going to go into the migration status, make sure, if we're in the system, that they can place a red note. And if we're not, then they're going to, because my friend Alejandra, she's illegal, unfortunately. So they're probably going to put her in the system as, just her little basic information, so she can't leave the country. And then a bunch of other stuff, just a bunch of minuscule things to try to keep our time here, because they really want me to leave. I was talking to everybody about that, and they were like, bro, if you leave, they're going to get you. So I just want to leave. I can't tell you how bad. I just want to go to the airport, hop on a plane, and come home. But if I do that around September, they'll probably be like, hey, Cody, you're going to prison. Come back to Peru. So I'm in this situation where I'm having to wait until they drop the charges.
Do you know if they have extradition on United States citizens in the United States?
They do. That's one reason why I haven't come home yet, is back in 2001, after the whole coup thing that they had back in the 90s, they made a deal with the United States to expedite criminals that they want from the U.S. or to the U.S., however they want. Long story short, yes, there is a deal between the United States and Peru where they can expedite back and forth. Okay. Which is one reason why I've been so loud on TikTok and on Facebook and all these other places, because if it comes across the desk of someone important, like my state representatives, and then they're like, oh, we're not going to follow through with the expedition because we have all the facts here. We don't have to do this. We're not going to do that to you. Then I can come home, regardless of whether or not the case is closed. So I've been pretty much yelling at the U.S. government to be like, hey, y'all have my evidence. I will send you the video once I get it. Come on, friends. But yeah, that's where we're at right now with that.
And are you getting a copy of the video? Like, you're going to be able to save it, post it, all of that? Or are you just going to be able to view it today?
I am. So I've been requesting this video for so long, but finally I got confirmation from my lawyer to just come through, and I'll be able to download it onto a little USB drive. And then after that, I plan on making copies and sending it to everywhere. I'm pretty sure the embassy already has it. But I don't know about, the U.S. senator that we've been talking to, my family's been talking to. So I'm going to send it to my family to give to him. And then I'm just going to release it on TikTok, pretty sure too, because they like to manipulate evidence here. So that's one thing I'm going to check and make sure the video is still good. But it's coming from my current lawyer, so I'm sure it's not manipulated. But I just want to make sure it's out there just in case by the time we get to trial, we're golden.
So what kind of hearings have you had so far?
Just the preliminary hearing where they were going to see if we had to, because they have this thing called preventative prison. The U.S. has it too. It's just where you're in jail until you have to go to trial. But that's when I've only had that. That's when the judge was like, Austin's actions didn't cause the death of this man. He's cool. He's golden. So that's the only thing we've had so far. We should have had more, especially because they keep saying, oh, we're waiting for more evidence. We need to gather more evidence. What more evidence do you need to gather? You have everything, the witnesses, the video, the autopsy. You want my clothes? I'll bring them to you. Let's just get this thing going. But it's very upsetting. It's very, annoying.
Has your lawyer indicated, like, hey, if we go to trial, I think we're going to win? Or has he said anything like that?
No. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten we're going to win or we're going to lose thing from my lawyer. And the embassy also can't do that. Because I asked them, I was like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we can't do that. Because, I mean, if they're wrong, and then I'm going to be mad at the embassy, that kind of thing. So sure. I haven't gotten any, we're going to win or we're going to lose thing from anybody. We've just been guessing.
When's your trial set for?
So they have until September.
So you were saying once the discovery period closes, then the trial's really soon after, right?
Yes, well, that's what they told me. They here in Peru, they give people like 8 months of investigation for intentional homicide. So they have until September, and then immediately after that, I think it's like September 5th. Immediately after that date, we'll go into the trial. Um, but I'm hoping I don't have to experience how quickly the trial goes. I'm hoping the case is closed by before then. Um, but we'll see.
How quick are the trials there?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think some of them are quick, some of them are slower. It just depends on the charge, the jury, and then how quickly they can come to a decision.
Do you and Alejandra have the same lawyer or different lawyers?
As of right now, we have the same lawyer, but I am trying to get a different lawyer for this week. I'm wanting to switch to a different lawyer, knowing that the charges are going to be different. I think it would be better for Alejandra if she had her own lawyer dealing with her charges, and then I had my own lawyer dealing with mine.
And then, what's the publicity like on this down there in Peru? Like, is this a big deal, or are people going crazy about it?
No, not at first. Yes, I'm talking like 20 minutes after the incident happened, it was on the news. And unfortunately, they were like, foreigners attacked a local, da 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 da. And people immediately were like, oh, foreigners attacking locals, bringing crime into Peru. How dare they? I bet you they're from Venezuela, or I bet you they're from Brazil or something like that. And I'm like, aha, joke's on you. I'm from the US and you're not even reporting correctly. So I was in the comments just laughing at people's, probably shouldn't have done that. But I was laughing at people's comments because I was like, y'all have no, like, I even, my friend commented, was like, you are a terrible reporter. I was like, this is not what happened. So for like 2 or 3 days, yeah, it was a big deal. But now it's just kind of sliding under the table, which I'm really fine with. They do not like foreigners here, especially when it comes to the judicial system and crimes. So if it did get popular here in Peru, they'd probably spin the story every which way without asking, my side or Alejandra's side.
So, what can Americans, our listeners, what can people do to help you?
Man, share my story, talk about it, contact your local news station, contact the senators and U.S. representatives of Missouri, my state. Pretty much just make some noise. Like, go follow. Also, I have a petition on my TikTok. It's linked in my link tree, a GoFundMe, and all of that. So, if you can't donate money, sign my petition. If you don't feel like signing my petition or donating money, just make some noise for me. Be loud. Be a typical American when it comes to things like this.
What's your family thinking right now? Do you get to talk to them much?
Oh yeah, I contact my family every day. I mean, if I go one day without calling my mom, she'll probably flip out. She'll be like, they got him. He's in prison. You better not. Like, if I tell her I'm going to call her at 1, I got to call her at 1 or I'm in trouble. So yeah,
Sure.
I've been,
Has anyone come down to see you?
No, my sister has her passport. My mom is working to get her passport, and then they're going to be here at some point if they have to be. I'm hoping they don't have to be, but it'll better. I want them by my side if shit starts hitting the fan, pretty much.
And then I have a question, generally speaking, not about your case, right? Just generally. It seems that there might be some laws in Peru associated with commenting opinions about, the judicial system. And I'm not saying about your case. I'm just speaking generally. What sort of laws are you aware of that make it to where a person can or cannot say what they think about the legal system, prosecution, police, anything like that? Do they have anything like that?
Oh, they have all of that. And in fact, my TikTok has borderline past the point of return in terms of that. I'm not supposed to talk about the judicial system. I'm not supposed to talk about the laws here. I'm not supposed to criticize anything. Even if I just went on TikTok and was like, look, guys, these people are protesting. Like, that's going to work with this government, that kind of thing. I will go to prison. They can that's why I'm trying to hurry up and make a lot of noise, because I've already been told that what I've posted on my TikTok, what I've been talking about publicly, could get me thrown in prison for all kinds of different things. The worst being terrorism, which is wild.
And who are these people that are saying that they could put you in prison for this?
So literally all the Peruvians here, all of my Peruvian friends that know their country pretty much, they're like, hey, I watched your video. You probably shouldn't have said that. And then everyone's telling me that I'm putting them in danger. I'm actually having to find a new house soon because the friend that I'm living with has told me that I'm putting him in danger and his family in danger by living here and talking publicly about the government online. So even amongst locals, they usually tend not to talk about the Peruvian government because it can end with some really bad consequences. And I knew that going into it. But I mean, I'm an American, and I'm not going to go down without a fight. So, I mean, if they want to try to get me for some TikTok videos, I'm sure we can fight about that too.
I have a couple more questions about the courthouse. How big is the courthouse is my first question. Like, how many people are there? Did you see people in custody? And are you afforded an interpreter, Spanish to English interpreter while you're there?
So my court was actually online via Zoom. Weird. Really weird. I was in my lawyer's office and we did it via Zoom. The actual courthouse is actually not that far away from me. It's pretty large. I don't know how many people are in there, and I don't really know the way they work there yet. Hopefully, I never do. But in terms of interpreters, yes. They're supposed to appoint me an interpreter, and they're supposed to be really good at their job, like interpret word for word what's going on. Unfortunately, that's not what I got, which I'm fine with at this point in time. But knowing that they don't really care what type of interpreter I get, I'm searching for my own. So I do have the right legally to be appointed an interpreter, because without it, their whole process is illegal. But I want one of my own, so I know that this person's good. This person will translate word for word what's happening, what needs to happen, and stuff like that.
All right. Well, that sounds like you got a long time before September to look into that if need be.
Yeah.
I know here we have list of interpreters that you can look at, and maybe there's one there, hopefully with somebody who has a better grasp on the English language. But
sure,
I'm glad you have that at least afforded to you, because I'm sure there's certain third world countries that wouldn't even have that.
How's your Spanish?
Mi español está bien, pero pienso que me falta en gramática, solo eso. Entonces, I can speak Spanish. I understand Spanish. But I just have trouble with grammar every so often.
Sure. And legal fluency is very different than conversational or everyday fluency.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a judicial book, a dictionary book, just for that reason.
That's good. Yeah, I did some looking on it while you were talking a little bit, and the system is very different than ours. There are protections, but the degree of protections are not the same. And it's a civil law system instead of a common law system, which means it's a lot more statutory and up to judicial interpretation. They still have Supreme Courts and things, but it's still very different. So I could see how you'd end up in the situation you're in, and exactly what you're describing is the potential negatives of that, especially when you throw the interchange in with like being a foreigner, this local guy. It's a dumb situation. Yeah, you hit him, but he hit you first. It's not the best situation to find yourself in. So for what it's worth, man, I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Yeah, no problem, man. I have faith that I'm gonna get out of this for sure. I mean, I came here knowing how their judicial system was. I just thought it was harder to get into it.
Sure. And then I have one more question. You said it was a plastic bottle. What do you mean, like a shaker, or are you talking like one of these where it's like, oh, like a Coke bottle, but plastic? What the fuck? I mean, I guess if that's all you got, yeah, whack it with a plastic bottle, but that's nuts.
I had another question on the defenses, because we live in Las Vegas. I don't even know if we told you that. Everything's open 24 hours. In Missouri or Kansas, things might be closed after 10, 11. In Cusco, late night dining, is that like a normal thing? Or I know cultures are different there. Do people go out that late, or is there certain bars or areas where you can go out to eat late?
Okay, so let me tell you about this. That's a very good question. Here, the regular going out and eating restaurants, they usually close around 10. That's when the bar scene, the nightlife opens up at 10. So people will start going out, and you'll be able to get your street vendors like burgers on the street, chorizos on the street, and things like that. As terms of going in and sitting down and eating, no, not really. The bars open 24/7, my man. Like they will leave their house at 11 o'clock at night to drink, and then they won't stop until 6 in the morning the next day, eat breakfast, and then go to sleep. It is the wildest thing I've ever seen. I can't keep up.
So this brings me to another question. I'm putting my defense attorney hat on here. Aside from being drunk, what else was this guy on? Do you have a toxicology report, anything like that?
So the toxicology report actually came back only with alcohol, but it was so excessive that they said that he was an alcoholic. They were like,
what was his BAC?
I didn't see that. I just saw alcoholico on the word, and I was like, why are they calling him an alcoholic? But apparently it was just so much alcohol that they were like, this dude's an alcoholic. With that being said, though, he has a prior record here in Cusco. Back in 2023, he got in trouble for fighting when he was drunk, just like he did with us. But they're not using that they're not using that in our defense. They're just like, that's nothing. People fight here. No, it's not nothing. This dude was a fighter. He was a known fighter, and apparently he was known to the police because of that. So it's just upsetting.
That sucks, man. Well, for what it's worth, that kind of stuff would potentially be kept out here as well, because there's very specific rules for how you can get that kind of evidence in. And when you don't have prior knowledge of that as in the moment, then you don't get to use it for the reasonableness standard that we have here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it depends. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
No, I don't know if I have any more questions. It's definitely something crazy you're going through. We want to help get your voice out because we do criminal defense stuff. That's all we talk about all the time. So getting it out to our listeners too. We're thankful for your time. Did you have any questions for us, or did you have anything else that you wanted to explore?
No, I just wanted to come on here, answer some questions, get my story out, actually talk to lawyers, get y'all's point of view on things. And really, I just like talking about my story, because if I don't talk about it, it makes me go insane, because I just don't understand why I'm in this situation. So I just love coming on, talking to people, getting my story out there. So people know, really, the main thing. I'm not trying to deter people from coming to Peru, but definitely have an increased precaution when you come.
So I have one more thing to say to you, okay?
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Oh yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
I'm kidding. But for real, we're gonna tag all your stuff in the bottom of this. Your pages and everything. We'll get everything out. I'm sure that there's got to be a way to contact representatives, and we'll go ahead and figure that out, and we'll put that contact info in the bottom as well. So if people want to do it, they can. Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on your show, talking about my story and trying to help.
Not a problem, man.
Thank you, Cody.
All right, good luck.
Good luck, man.